Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about headphones and asking you guys to comment below what headphones I should get next, because I have been debating this for a while now, because I've had the HD560S for I think at least a year and a half at this point, and as much as I like that headphone, it still has some issues. For example, I do think it's a little bright on some tracks, and this is coming from somebody that has the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, which are very bright at high volumes to the point where those are like way too bright. On like a lot of tracks, especially like treble heavy tracks, they're too much. So yeah, this is coming from somebody that is daily driving the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro. And I'm saying that the 560s are a little much on the treble at some points. But I do love how neutral they sound for the most part. But I also really like the soundstage, but I want something more. Honestly, that's the biggest problem that I have with the 560s. I want something that sounds a little wider, but also has a lot better detail retrieval. And from what I've heard, the 505 is basically that. And that is probably the headphone I'm debating the most on getting, because from what I've heard, it's basically everything I described. It's an HD560S that has a little less treble, but has better soundstage and better detail retrieval. However, from what I've heard from some reviewers that have even compared it to like the 600 series line, I've heard that the 600 series line is better in terms of like the details and getting all that, which I am really searching for in a headphone, because I really care about technicalities. I've always cared about technicalities in music, but also in my own music. I want to listen for that stuff and be able to just be able to pinpoint that easier. So again, that's why I'm debating on whether or not to, get the 505. And from what I've also heard, it's really not that big of an upgrade over the 560s. Even if it is like better in basically every single way, it's still not like that big of an improvement from what I've heard. So that kind of makes me sort of lean into different headphones. I've a lot of really, really good headphones that are like sub $400 have come out recently, which is the price bracket I'm kind of aiming for. For example, like the Aoun AR5000, I think it's called, is a planar, and I do like planars, even though I really don't like Hyphaman, and I'll get into that later. But yeah, I do like planars and how like quick they are, and the bass is really, really good on those. And from what I've heard, the Aoun is a sort of warm headphone, which I'm honestly kind of fine with, as long as it doesn't have like too much of a bass boost and too much of a treble boost. I'm okay with it, because as I said in like previous videos, my ears are stupidly sensitive to bass anyway, so if it has a bass boost or not, as long as it's not too much, it doesn't really make that much of a difference to me. But even then, again, from what I've heard, the Aoun is a little warm, but it sounds great. Like the details are great, and in gaming, it's also pretty good in a lot of games. So yeah, that is another headphone definitely on my radar. But another set of headphones that are on my radar are the recent ones from Audio Technica. However, I'm probably not going to get these, to be honest with you, even though from what I've heard, they're also great in terms of detail and are honestly better than some of the Sennheiser headphones I've been debating on getting. They do have like kind of shoddy build quality. Like it's really light. But in order to achieve that lightness, it's really, really plasticky, or not plasticky, but just very, I don't know. From what I've heard from basically everybody, it's just not built all that well. Even like the $300, the $350 like R70XA, I've heard that is really not that comfortable from most people, and it's not built all that well in order to achieve that insane lightness. But again, I've heard the sound quality is actually great on those headphones, so that's again another deciding factor in this. Like, even if again the build quality isn't like the best out there, it's still great from what I've heard in terms of sound quality and overall neutrality. I have heard that like the R70X is a little warmer than the R50X, and the R50X is a little bit more analytical, a little bit more bright. So maybe I would like the R50X a little bit more, and it is also like half the price, which is really, really cool. And I've heard like the detail retrieval is like stellar for that price. But again, I want a headphone that feels at least a little sturdy to me, at least a little as sturdy as like the 560s, basically. So yeah, again, I don't know if I'll get the Audio Technica set of headphones that have come out recently, even though, again, they sound great as well. However, there is another pair of headphones that is actually from Sennheiser as well, the HD600, which is very, very well renowned for being basically the most dead neutral thing you can get. And while a lot of people will call that boring, I actually find that pretty important, especially when it comes to like mixing my own music, even though it's not great. Like my mixing is still pretty shit. I still want like a headphone that just represents sound in a natural way. And that's why, again, I'm just really searching for a neutral, maybe slightly bright, if I have to get a headphone that is like slightly bright, maybe a slightly bright headphone that just again sounds neutral, sounds natural, and has like good like timbre and all of that. But like most open backs, like pretty much excel at that, so that's not that big of a deal. So yeah, again, I'm searching for a headphone that basically is neutral, that is like below like $400 and has good detail retrieval, like really, really good detail retrieval. That's probably one of the most important things to me, actually, because again, I am really technical. I'm a very, very technical, not only musician, but just somebody who listens to music a lot. I really like to pick out details and hear everything, like hear every single bit that the artist intended. I know the fucking as the artist intended is fucking stupid, but again, I just want to hear everything. And I think headphones that have really, really good details are the exact definition of that. So again, that's why I'm searching for that kind of stuff. But besides that, that is basically it. Again, give me some recommendations in the comments below. Just fire them off. And also, if you have some of the headphones that I've like listed off in the video, just compare them if you want to in the comments below. I'm not fucking forcing you to, but if you want to, just compare them in the comments below, just so I can just better find out, or not better find out, better narrow my search. Just, yeah. So that is basically it, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.